Shabbat Shalom. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rabbi Jenny Greenspan for Congregation Beth-El Zedek. Here doing our weekly Shabbat morning Torah Talk here from Indianapolis. And I'm so glad you are joining with me this morning. And we will see who's gathering with us as we do our Torah Talk in advance of our service this morning. This morning we are reading from Parashat Re'eh, or to see. And we will see in a moment a bit of what we are meant to see. So if you'll join me, you can follow along with our Etz Chaim Chumash. You'll excuse the noises my cat is making. Follow along with the Etz Chaim Chumash, which you can access if you don't have a physical copy with you at home. You can go to the BEZ613.org website, to the Beth-El Zedek's website, BEZ613.org. It is slightly different for where to find it today, but you will go to where it says Worship along the top and select the first option from the drop down is Shabbat, and scroll down all the way to where it says Torah Talk and Shabbat Service Resources, and the very first link there will say Etz Chaim. So you can use that to follow along with me in the Etz Chaim Chumash. If you have a physical copy at home, go ahead and grab it. We will be on page 1061 at the very, very beginning of Parashat Re'eh. So for now, I'll say Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Marty Lip, to Jim Hammonds, Phyllis Luger, to Jody Zucker, Shabbat Shalom, Boker Tov, to Amanda Siegel and to Miles as well, to Ellen Hamburger, to Cheryl Tuff, and to the Sclairs, Marcia and Bruce. So good to see everybody joining me at 9 o'clock. Glad that this time has been working for everyone, and that we have been able to shift a little bit earlier for those of you who are able to join in the service in person this morning at 10 o'clock with Rabbi Dennis and Cantor Melissa. We'll be celebrating a bar mitzvah today, so I hope you can join either in person or on live stream in a little bit. But for now, let's dive in and look at this Torah portion. Really just the first verse. This particular Torah portion has a lot to offer. This portion discusses some of the laws of how we care for one another. It has laws of how we would care for the poor. It has laws about a review of kashrut. It has a really different and interesting mixture of kind of ritual law and communal law. But I really want us to focus today on the very, very first verse. Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem hayom bracha uklala. See, this day I set before you blessing and curse. Seems very ominous, very straightforward, and yet there are so many things to explore in this verse. For example, bracha uklala, blessing and curse, seem to be in the singular. It's not an ongoing sense of blessing or an ongoing source of blessings or ongoing curses, but rather each day is Hayom, this day, God sets before us blessing and curse. And then the rest of this section of the Parsha goes through a selection of this is what if you follow the laws, you get blessing. If you don't follow the laws, you get curse. Some of that we talked a little bit about last week, that maybe not on the individual level, but on the communal level. And I think that there's something that really reinforces that in this morning's portion I want us to dive into. And it may not be obvious if you are only looking at the translation. When we say, see, this day I set before you blessing and curse. In English, we tend not to have a differentiation between the singular and the plural you. Or at least not in most English dialects. There are, of course, some dialects, especially in the southern United States, that do, where we have y'all or all y'all, or yins and yous, lots of different versions of it in certain dialects. But for the most part, English does not include a plural you, but Hebrew does. So it's something is being hinted at, I think, in this verse. In the Hebrew, the two times that we should have a you implied are different. Re'eh is the commandative sense, it's the command form of the verb to see. You are told to see. Re'eh is in the singular. If it were in the plural, it would be re'u. Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem bracha hayom bracha uklala. You, individual, see that today I put before you, plural, blessing and curse. So we have a difference between the you. We were told on an individual level to see, but the blessing and the curse in front of you is in front of all of you. It's in front of us. So we have to explore a bit about what that might mean. Why is it that you, as one person, needs to see that there's blessing in front and curse in front of all of us? I would like to look at the Kli Yakar. He was a commentator who lived in Prague in the late 15 and early 1600s on this very verse. He said, Re'eh, see, is singular. Before you, lifnechem, is plural. He says this is what the sages are trying to teach. This is what the sages teach us based on this verse, that a person, an individual, must always view things as if the entire world is half righteous and half wicked. It's perfectly in balance between good and bad. If each person, any person, performs a single mitzvah, they tip themselves and the entire world to the side of merit, to the side of bracha. Therefore, when Moses spoke this to the people, he spoke to every single individual, re'eh, that he or she or they would see in their own thought that every single action affects all of the others. The Kli Yakar is suggesting re'eh in the singular is that we all must pay attention to every single act that each of us individually does, and that we should go about our lives assuming that the world is in perfect balance between good and evil. And each one act one of us does shifts it a little bit toward good or toward bad. That each of us has the power to shift. The lifnechem, the before you all, means that each of us has that power, and it is a reminder that each of us, with our one act of good, has the power to turn it toward bracha or klala, blessing or curse, for the entire world. That our individual actions of good or bad have consequences beyond our own individual lives. So similar to the theme we looked at last week as well. Each of us, with each action we do, affects all of us. Moshe, in reciting this for God, Re'eh Anochi, Re'eh, you, individual, see that I put before you, plural, the opportunity for blessing and for curse, saying that each and every single one of us has the opportunity to turn everything for all of us to blessing or for curse. And hidden in the note of lifnechem, when I am being told as an individual that there is bracha and klala in front of all of us, it's the reminder that my actions aren't only my own. My moves for what I need and what I want out of my life do not only affect me. I'm being asked to see that blessing and curse is in front of me, but it is also in front of us, in front of all of us, and that we must each act in a way that shows that we remember that our actions have ripple effects toward others. Our choice to care for the environment, our choice to care for ourselves, our choice to care for our community has ripple effects. So we are asked to remember not only ourselves when we choose blessing or curse. We are asked to remember that our actions can cause blessing or curse for others. We see it in front of everyone. We have to pause and say, it's not just the best choice for me in this moment, but what is the best choice for all of you as well? Being asked to remember to see you all at the same time that I see my own opportunities for bracha uklala, for blessing or for curse. So this week, a little of a short and sweet this week, but this week, I think there is that reminder, and it's a much needed reminder in our world today, that each one of us does have that power. Every single one of us has that power that Kli Yakar is trying to pull upon. That each one of us doing one mitzvah can tip the entire world for good. And each one of us making a choice that hurts another can tip the entire world for bad. It sounds somewhat overwhelming, but it is also a moment of power, a reminder of power, that each of us can do good, and that each of our deeds shifts the entire merit of the world just a little bit. So I hope that we go into our week ahead ready to do that next one little good thing and keep tipping and tipping. And hopefully, as we all do that together, we will tip not from a perfect balance of half and half, bracha and klala, good and bad, blessing and curse, but actually manage to tip more and more and more toward bracha. I hope that if we go with the mindset of each of our own deeds has the power to shift everything for everyone, that we will do our best and that we will indeed move that scale constantly toward good. As we think toward the high holidays, we should always be thinking, how can I tip the scales of the world a little better, a little closer to bracha, a little closer to blessing? Say Shabbat Shalom. I wish you all a week of bracha, a week of moving the scales a little bit more to the positive, and caring for one another, and remembering and thinking as we do each deed, how does this affect me, and how does it affect all of us? I'll leave it here. Say Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for joining me. For those who are joining in person, please send love to the Bar Mitzvah family. We are celebrating today the Bar Mitzvah of Benjamin Murray. If you are joining us on live stream, of course, just go to bez613.org/watch live at 10 o'clock, where you will get to join with Benjamin and with Rabbi Dennis and Kenner Melissa and Benjamin's whole family as they celebrate his Bar Mitzvah. And I will join you from the live stream as well. So Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to Jim Roth and to Maria Simon. I'm glad you were able to join me as well. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Shabbat Shalom.